Well, I suppose we're making this a series here on the Two Tone Talk page. This is me going through and watching some of these clips from various sports shows talking about the Titans, and it always puts me in a bad mood, but people seem to be enjoying it. So now we're bringing in Colin Cowherd, the Herd, to talk about the Titans. Namely, this is after they signed Tyler Boyd to a contract. Oh boy. All right.
Bungles have lost Tyler Boyd. He is signing a 1-year, $4.5 million.
Did he just call him the bungholes? Did he just call him the bungholes?
Bungles have lost
the Bungles?
Tyler Boyd. He is signing a 1-year, $4.5 million deal with the Titans, reunited with coach Brian Callahan, who was Boyd's OC with the Bengals since 2019.
Good signing by the Titans.
Boyd is good. Underappreciated.
All right, Colin. All right, Colin. Now, Colin was the one, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, Colin was the one who said that the Titans, stunk. He didn't even entertain the idea. He was talking about the AFC or something, and he was talking about the AFC South, and he talked about the Texans. Oh, the almighty Texans. Oh, the Colts with an unproven quarterback that we're just pretending is proven. And the Jags and the Titans stink. Afterthought. But now, it sounds like he might be changing his tone.
He's next to Higgins and Chase. He's a perfect slot guy.
Yep.
I'm just telling you, this Titans wide receiving group for Will Levis is legit.
Okay,
well, Calvin Ridley, who they signed to a big money deal. Treylon Burks, who we like, who was a first-round pick, who's been good, had some injury.
They're even talking about Treylon? They even like Treylon?
History.
And Boyd.
And now Tyler Boyd. That's 4 legit receivers.
Look at that.
I'm sorry, guys. They have some. We're going to find out if Will Levis.
But you know what I like Tennessee's doing here?
Okay.
So Tennessee hires an offensive coach and stacks the deck offensively. They're going to find out by Thanksgiving if Will Levis can play.
Isn't that funny? Isn't that funny that when the Titans fired Mike Vrabel and hired Brian Callahan, it was like, what are they doing? They're so stupid. Oh my gosh, these idiots, what could they possibly be thinking? And then, Ridley, Pollard, Snead, Cushenberry, you draft J.C. Latham and bring in Tyler Boyd. I like what Tennessee's doing, huh? It's almost like sometimes you gotta just let things play out a little bit, huh?
That's the problem the Giants had, is you didn't have enough pieces around him to know if Daniel Jones could play or not. You thought he couldn't. The Bears did this. Ryan Poles said, hey, we're going to find out if Justin can play. Let's get him DJ Moore. Let's get him 2 tight ends. Let's draft the O-line. They gave him all now some Chase Claypool didn't work, but the Bears were like, we got to find out if Justin can play, so let's stack the deck offensively. Okay. That's what the Titans are doing. So they're saying, listen, if it doesn't work with Will, the next guy's going to say, give me some of that. But they're going to...
Oh, okay. See, I was expecting to be mad at Colin Cowherd watching this clip. But you know what? He had to come around. Colin had to come around a little bit. He said they stunk. But then it took signing Tyler Boyd. All due respect to Tyler Boyd. But when you said they stunk, we'd already signed Calvin Ridley. We'd already signed L'Jarius Sneed. We'd already done all of that stuff. Maybe the draft hadn't happened by this point. But, we'd already made a lot of moves. And you said they stunk. And then they signed Tyler Boyd? And that changed everything for you? Well, I don't know. It feels a little fickle to me. But what he's saying is true. You want to put your young quarterback in this situation, of course, Will Levis, you got to put him in position to succeed. You want to see what they're all about. You want to see how good they are. You can't put them out there with a bunch of bums. You can't. Because then you're always going to wonder, is it his fault or is it lack of weapons, lack of protection? You have to put great weapons around him. You have to put great protection in front of him. And then if it doesn't work out, then you can know it's just he's not the guy. We got to go get somebody else. Okay, but you can't accurately judge this guy and his play until you get him weapons. And that's what I said all along, and it's what most of you said all along. why are the Titans making all these moves? Don't they know they have Will Levis? They're not supposed to be doing all of this. They should just save up their money like they're a college student or something. They should save up their money so that they can do something later when they're supposed to. But we all said, no, they want to see what they have with Will Levis. If Will Levis is good, this team could be pretty good. If Will Levis is bad, all right, then back to the drawing board. But like he said, if it doesn't work out with Levis, worst case scenario, then you've got Ridley coming back, you've got Snead coming back, you've got Boyd and Pollard and Cushenberry and all these guys coming back. So the next guy, whoever that is going to be like put in a good position to succeed. Imagine
Find
that.
out if you can't move the ball with that receiving core, then you're not the guy.
Not the guy. Yeah.
You're not the guy in that conference.
So here's the thing: that
agree.
division is tough, and I'm not ready to. Based on what they've got, even Pollard and I like Tajay Spears, the young running back.
Thank you.
They've got enough guys to surprise some people and win some games. If Levis can give you anything,
Last year the Titans had one receiver with over 30 catches. Now they have D-Hop, Boyd. Burks, the kid from Arkansas we like.
Ridley is a legit number one in this league. I think he's a number one. Now, I know some people push back. And
No, this is suddenly now.
This
If
is
you go
not
look
what
at
I
this
was
receiving core
expecting.
now, could I say this? Top 6 receiving core in the
when
league?
if you look at the
Colin, I was going to be mad at you today, dude. I was going to come on here and get red in the face and rant and rave about you. But listen at you. Y'all even bragging on Traylon.
those four guys, there's not many teams with better than that. The Dallas Cowboys would kill. Dak Prescott would kill for that group right there.
What have I been saying? I'm sorry I keep pausing. What have I been saying? If the Cowboys had the offseason that the Titans have had, people would be going crazy right now about how great they're going to be. They guys kind of acknowledged it. Cowboys would love to have Calvin Ridley. They would love to bring Pollard back. They would love to have Tyler Boyd and DeAndre Hopkins.
Nothing compared to those guys. That's a legit. I mean, D-Hop is a borderline. I don't know if he's a Hall of Famer, but he's got a good resume. Calvin Ridley's I think he's a 1. Burks has shown flashes, and I like Boyd.
Burks, good player. That's a group.
Now, I haven't seen the defense, but if Will Levis, you're gonna have a chance. Like, he's got a better shot to
That's
succeed
all
this
you
year
can
than,
give
like,
him.
Daniel
Are you
Jones.
a Will Levis guy?
I kind of am because you were so against him for the gun show selfies.
Yeah, but you're a gun show guy. You like to
I don't
show
even know
off.
what
You
they're
go to the
talking about
beach
right now.
with a tank
Picture of his
top on.
muscles
Of
or
course,
something.
I go to the grocery store.
I
with a
go
tank
out to
top.
the beach with corduroy pants and a pith helmet.
Stop
You and I are
it.
different cats. Check
Great
Mac with the
sports
news.
analysis.
Well, that's the news.
And thanks for stopping by.
We done talking
Herd
about it?
Line News.
So,
Gun
show.
Timberwolves. Okay. Oh my gosh, Nick Wright. I gotta find video from him. That'll put me in the hospital because that's all they talk about the Titans in that clip. You know, I actually, like I said, I was expecting to be angrier. I was expecting to be angrier. You know, I thought they were gonna like run their mouth because I had heard Colin Cowherd said like he totally dismissed the Titans, and that does kind of annoy me. Even though he said some good things. Him and that other guy said some good things about Titans in that clip. It still kind of annoys me because why are we so wishy-washy? You just said a couple of days prior to this that the Titans stunk, and you totally dismissed the idea that they could be any good at all. And now, all of a sudden, they signed Tyler Boyd, and that changed. Like I said, I don't know if the draft had happened at the time that this aired. I want to say they signed Boyd before the draft. I don't remember it. All the days run together, but either way, it's everything that we say that how sports media feels about the Titans. They know nothing about them. That's why they were so mad when Vrabel got fired. Letting Vrabel and Derrick Henry go in the same offseason was death to these people because that's all they knew about the Titans was Mike Vrabel and Derrick Henry. That's all they knew. And so now you take away the only things that we even know about the Titans, and now it's like, oh, well, they're horrible. They're horrible. They're not going to be any good. They're an afterthought. Moving right along to talk about the Chiefs again. Okay. But when you look at the moves they've made and you look at the roster that they're assembling, it's like, hold on. Wait a minute. You give the Indianapolis Colts that same offseason, You give the Indianapolis Colts Tony Pollard and Calvin Ridley and Tyler Boyd and DeAndre Hopkins and Lloyd Cushenberry and L'Jarius Sneed. I couldn't think of his name, and the Colts tried to get L'Jarius Sneed. You give them Awuzie, you give them some of these other defensive guys, you give them big J.C. Latham in the first round, and you guys would be going crazy for that. You guys would be talking about how great the Colts are going to be. And the fact that the Titans make all these moves and they do all of these things, and you have to see it laid out on a screen in front of you before you're like, oh, dang. Like, they got this guy, and they drafted this guy, and they're bringing back that guy. I mean, it's like the realization hits them that, like, oh, this is like a good roster right here. Like, this is a lot. And they were so, like, think about how fast we went from what a stupid decision to hire Brian Callahan and let Mike Vrabel go. What a dumb decision that is. All the way to, with just in a couple months, it's like, hey, I like what they're doing. Like, sometimes you just gotta let stuff play out. And I know they're on the air every day and they have to say something every day, but it's like, man, that's really hot and then cold. Like the Katy Perry song. It's hot and then cold. They're an afterthought, they're terrible, and then it's like, oh no, they might be pretty good. And everything they said, I agree with, about Will Levis. You're putting Will Levis in a position to succeed. You want to see what you've got with him. You've got to get the best pieces you can get around him. You've got to get the best protection you can get. You got to get the best team that you can get. Because until you do that, how can you adequately know? If you put him out there with a bunch of bums and the team doesn't do well, then what's the problem? Is it Will? Is it the receivers we have? Is it the protection? Think about last year. We still don't know. It's like okay, we had terrible protection. Didn't have the best weapons. So, I mean, some of the problems with the offense is due to all of that. So let's fix as much of that as we can so that we can figure out what we have with Will Levis. And that's like, how that doesn't make sense to a lot of these analysts, I'll never know. But at least Colin, for that day, was kind of coming around. I don't want you to sit here and tell me the Titans are going to be great. I don't want you to just sit here and declare that they're the best team in the league, but at least acknowledge the roster that they've assembled is, at least on paper, is pretty darn good roster. Offensively, the improvements they've made, are you kidding me? Not to mention bringing in Bill Callahan, one of the best offensive line coaches of all time. Like, I don't know. You guys just don't know anything about the Titans, and it shows. Tighten up, everybody.